Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Dr. Baldy Knows Best. We've been making a lot of food for us humans, and now it's time to make some for the dogs. So as you can see in the videos, I have a black and a yellow lab, and we've had labs our whole life, and boy do they like to eat. But we give them mostly kibble, but we try and feed them 2 days a week, a raw meat product, and it's expensive to go buy those. A lot of people will do that, but when you got 2 labs that eat a ton, that's really expensive. So I went ahead and decided to make my own. We don't just feed them that. That would be a lot of work, first of all, and pretty expensive. And I think the kibble we buy is pretty good. Try and get us one without a lot of fillers and things in it. But the dogs sure like the raw meat. So what you want to do is get about 80% muscle meat and 10% bone and 10% organ meat. So mine's roughly that. Once again, they're getting kibble, so they're getting everything else kind of in a balanced diet. So we're not just relying on exactly the proportions I make. We're also going to add some kale from the garden, give them a little extra fresh nutrients that way. You can add fruit, strawberries, freeze-dried, frozen, whatever you want. So I like to do a combination. Some dogs are a little sensitive on different types of meat they can eat. Our dogs can pretty much eat anything. And so I generally do some beef, chicken, and turkey. Now, you'll see the equipment that I have, but if you have a good butcher or a grocery store that will grind things, you can have them grind the meat for you, whether that's turkey thighs or chicken thighs. It's a little harder to do the bone that way. You probably need your own grinder to get bone in there. You could just add some like bone meal. I've never done that. I would have to kind of do a little research on how you would do that. But and then organ meat you could cut up, and that's pretty easy if you didn't have a grinder. Now, obviously the best way is to have your own grinder, and you don't have to get a really expensive one. There's some KitchenAid attachments. But with meat, you're gonna have to cut it pretty small if you don't have a strong one. So I have a 1.5 horse power or meat grinder, which I absolutely love, from the company Meat, and they have all kinds of different ones, but you can get some at your Bass Pro Shops. There's a lot out there, but really worth the investment. So we're just going to start cutting up some of the meat. Some of it's ground already. Some of it I'll grind myself, but we're going to get started. Now for the bone, I just buy whole legs, and then we'll run those through, and that's how I'm going to get my bone. And this is some beef. I got a chuck here. We're going to cut that guy up. Now you can put this in the freezer for a little bit. That's what I do to make it a little firmer. We got our Bearded Butchers Montana Knife Company knife that really helps us. So I'm just going to cut these in strips so they'll go through the grinder a little bit easier. Ground chicken thighs. That would be easy. And we got some turkey thighs. Now we'll move over to the grinder and show you how we do that. So we're going to run everything through the grinder. I actually run it through twice. And it might get a little loud. Hopefully not too loud for you. And I just kind of mix up the different proteins as we go. So here's some of the ground chicken. It's a little messier to work with. It's probably better just to grind your own. Time for some kale. Get some greens in there. And now for the last little bits of steak running through there. The beef really kind of helps clean it up. It's a little firmer. I got a pretty full load this time. Okay, now we're gonna swap it out and do our second grind. And that really kind of mixes everything together nicely. Try to scoop from different areas to balance out the bone and the organ. It's not perfect science, but the second grind is really important. Okay, this last part is just portioning it out, and we kind of fill these little tubs, and it's the perfect amount dog food. We just kind of roughly fill them for the first batch, and then we'll even them up and fill them all up. Now, if you look at raw dog food online, it's crazy expensive per pound. Basically, we're buying chicken legs, which are, I think, about $5 a pound, and I'm buying at a really nice market, so it's probably always a little more expensive there. You can, all the turkey thighs, I think, were $5.95 a pound, and the chuck roast, I don't remember what it was, but maybe $8 a pound. It's a pretty cheap cut of meat. So really, for $6-7 a pound, you're making raw dog food that has bone and organ meat and some kale, and your animals will love it. It's really, really good for them. And really, it's not that hard to make. Now, if you got your own grinder and you got big dogs, even little dogs, I would say give it a try. It's kind of fun. And it's worth seeing how happy the animals are every Monday and Friday when they get theirs. We'll put the lids on this and we'll put it in the freezer. And then I just take 2 out the night before, Sunday night and Thursday night, and they're ready to go in the morning. I mix a little kibble in with it, but a lot of people don't like to do that. Once again, I got labs that eat a lot, so just kind of slows them down a little bit. And they doesn't seem to spoil them for their kibble otherwise, but they just know they're getting their treat. So we'll finish this up and get these all evened out and put the lids on and get them in the freezer, and probably got about 6 weeks worth of raw dog food.